Okay, so I'm doing another reading on Teresa Halbach and Stephen Avery, since the new documentary came out. And honestly, it's pretty much the same reading from the last time, except with a little bit more details. So we have a boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, okay, that was obsessed, okay. They're attracted to her, they're flirting with her, they want a reconciliation, they're putting in a ton of effort to try to get her back. They're expressing that they want to marry her, that they want to have children with her, trying to express their passion for her, and she wants none of it. She's choosing herself. She's choosing to love herself first, so she's not interested. And what I get is that part of the reason why she was not interested and rejecting him is because, in a sense, she didn't feel like he was confident. So there was things about his personality that she did not like, especially that, like, he wasn't confident in himself. And I know that that sounds like a contradiction because he's putting in all this effort, but it's like he would come on very strongly and probably very sexually towards her, okay? And she perceived that as an insecurity of his, okay? And that happens actually in a lot of sociopaths, where they are actually very insecure and excuse me, but they will project an image of confidence and almost overly confident or overly sexual to the person because they want to seem confident even though they really aren't. Meaning that they wouldn't have true feelings beneath all of this grandeur. So here we have the ex trying to come back, and they're having a hard time getting her attention or getting her to agree to anything, sending her lots of messages and annoying her, okay? Then we have the confrontation where there's a swift, what I feel like happened is that she got bludgeoned, okay? So in the last video, I explained that she became incapacitated, okay? So I believe it was to her head. I believe it was when her back was turned to her attacker, and it happened in a fit of rage, like a fit of passion, or, you know, like being rejected and being so upset that you hit the person over the head, not really understanding what you're doing, okay? Like it's when people say like they blacked out because they were so upset. This is what this indicates. This rush of to somebody who's turned away from them, okay? So they don't see it coming and is incapacitated. Now, in this moment, what this card indicates is that somebody witnessed it, okay? So somebody witnessed this altercation, which I believe was the police, and they took over the situation. The police did. And definitely bound the person who did this, okay? So they bound them with threats of jail, of embarrassment, all those things. And so this person who watched it, okay, they took it over. What I believe it was two police officers in cahoots with each other. Now, I mean, some people might have their own opinion of who those people could be, but I believe that it was Colburn and Link, okay? Colburn and Link were in cahoots with each other. One of them probably, I would think it would probably be one of them, it could have been both of them, that witnessed this altercation. They wanted this incentive from their boss. They wanted this money. This could also indicate promotion. And so they said, let's get this money / promotion, and let's make this happen. Okay, we need to frame Stephen Avery. Because they didn't want to pay him any money, and the boss had given them some sort of incentive in order to make that happen. Now, what I asked, because I've watched a couple episodes of the new season, and so I was curious about some of the things. Now, what I asked the cards was, did the police get Stephen's blood from his sink? What these cards indicate is that somebody who is bleeding from their hand, okay, and this card indicates like birth, right? But it also can indicate like life force. And what is your life force but your blood? So this person who is bleeding from their hand, okay, into a sink, this blood was moved. This card indicates moving, okay? So this blood was moved from this place where this person bled into, okay? So I believe that is true. So Stephen's story about the blood being taken from the sink is true. The next thing I asked was, did they get the key from Ryan? All right. What these cards indicate to me is that they definitely got the key from somebody who was very much emotionally connected to the person, who had an obsession over them and who wanted to marry them. So obviously that has to be the ex-boyfriend who I've talked about before, and everybody knows that most likely the ex-boyfriend is Ryan Pelagas. Okay. Next thing I asked was, why did Brian move into her house after she passed away? And to be honest, this is really creepy. He moved into the house to have some sort of dominance and victory over the heartache, the heartbreak, okay? And it could also indicate some sort of, because I felt like in the last reading he was very controlling, like he wanted to control her. And so it was like his last ditch effort to have control over her. And it's not over her, obviously, because she's dead, but it's control over her possessions. So he wanted to be there to sort of mourn in his own creepy way, to be able to keep some of her things and touch some of her things, and I don't know, do whatever else people do with people's possessions when they die, but very creepy. And that just goes to show the level of his obsession. Let me try and think. forgetting what I asked the cards. Well, I did ask the cards if Stephen committed the murder. What these cards indicate to me is that he is very content and happy with his defense, okay? So meaning that his story, that he did not commit this murder, in his mind, it is the absolute truth, because that is what he sticks to, and that is what he is content with, right? Because he knows he didn't do it. So I went a little further, and I asked the cards again, did Stephen kill Teresa Halbach? And what these cards indicated to me was that no, he didn't commit the murder. He was pissed that he had, well, I forget how many years he was in prison for the rape. Something like 17 years of his life stolen. And he what did I say in the last reading? It was this exact same card too. It was that he went against his better judgment, and he went for the money. He wanted the money, even though he knew he shouldn't have done it, because he knew, well, I don't think he really knew, but I think that he was warned that if he tried to sue them for money, that they would try to pinch him on anything. He didn't care. He still went for the money. Dang it, I can't remember what I asked for these cards. Oh yeah, that's moving of the body. I think I asked the cards something about the evidence, and what these cards were indicating to me was that it was 2 police officers, and they were looking for any reason, okay, to find evidence to put onto Stephen, okay? So they were looking for any sort of evidence they could find in order to move that evidence and put it where they wanted it, okay? And next thing I asked was, what was done with Teresa's body once Ryan handed over the body? And what it says to me is that 2 people in authority moved her body several times, okay? This card indicates moving the body to several different places, okay? And there was actual fighting between the 2 of them about what do we do with the body. So it was like, do we shoot her? Do we chop her up? Do we burn her? Do we move her? Do we bury her? Do we throw her in the river? Like they were sort of arguing with each other about how to dispose of the body, but also frame Stephen at the same time, okay? And I think that also has to do with getting their story straight with each other. So it was like, okay, we're gonna burn her body, and then we're gonna put the pieces, in the burn pit, and we're gonna drive the car up there, and like they had to like make sure they got everything straight with each other. And so there was just a little bit of tension in regards to that, okay? well, from these cards, what I also got was, I mean, that was that she could hear them, and I know this is horrible to say, but she could hear them, but like she couldn't move her body. She couldn't, like I said, she was incapacitated. So while they were arguing and moving her body around to different places, indicates her. Okay, but see how she's just a silhouette? Like, she's not really there. Like, she can't do anything to help herself. She's just the witness to all these things happening to her body. Okay? So she was alive when they were moving her around and arguing about what they were going to do with her. The last thing I asked was, is Stephen ever going to get out of prison? And what these cards indicated to me was that, unfortunately, they're going to put up such a strong defense to keep him in prison that I don't think he will get out, to be honest. They're not going to back down. So it's going to be, it might be some disappointing to a lot of people. So that was all the questions I could think of to ask. If you guys have any other questions that you can think of, let me know. Or I haven't watched all the episodes, so I might, do some more cards later on. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the exact same thing that was before. Obviously, I got more details from the second season, and so it was really interesting to get confirmation on those other details. I thought that was pretty cool. Especially, I did not know that Ryan moved into her house, and the reason why he moved in there, that is so creepy. So, I really hope they can get some solid evidence on him, but we'll never know. All right, thanks, guys. Take care.